Ladies and gentlemen, I think crypto has finally reached the craziest spot that I've ever seen it at. Literally, the stupidest of memes are raising tens of millions of dollars. But today, I'm not here for that. I'm not here to talk about how all these memes are doing, where to find them, and whether or not it's smart. No, we'll leave that for you guys to find out. What I'm going to be talking about today is two major things which are up and coming, which could be extremely bullish or just bring the crypto space into a very interesting volatile environment. Just take a look at this and make sure you press that like button. As you guys might or might not know, one of the areas I've recently been most bullish on has been AI coins. And they haven't been doing too amazing recently. I mean, today they're up ever so slightly. We can see some slight positive numbers. And only one of my coins, RSS3, is up a ton. But over the next few days, a lot of interesting things can happen based on the idea that this is happening, or at least starting at least tomorrow. Nvidia GTC 2024, what to expect from the AI giant's big conference. And on Monday 18th of March, he'll kick off the Nvidia's annual GTC conference with a 2-hour keynote at the SAP Center in San Jose, outlining what's ahead for the company in the year ahead. As you guys all know, Nvidia has been one of the hottest GPU AI related companies over the past year. Shares of the AI darling are up a staggering 267% over the past 12 months and 80% since the beginning of this year. And I don't even want to talk about what they're planning to do and what's planning to come up, because honestly, that's like speculation for a whole separate video, a whole separate discussion. All I'm trying to say here and all I'm trying to bring up is this could be pretty bullish for AI coins depending on what's going to be announced. I've done many videos talking about which AI coins I'm most excited about. A matter of fact, RSS3 is up 8.5% in the last hour, which is really nice. And a lot of coins I think could actually have a good little rally over the next few days or so, as this is starting in what, like 24 hours or so is when this is coming along. So again, just make sure you're prepared for it. Make sure you're keeping these AI coins in your visor, and perhaps nothing's going to happen. It's fully possible. But if some bullish statements come out of this conference, it could reflect on the whole AI sector, and that would most likely reflect very, very nicely onto AI crypto coins. Again, just my thoughts. Maybe it's stupid, but I think it makes sense. For me, not that much changes because I'm almost all into AI coins anyway, but I'm just saying, take a look at that. I said at the start though that there are a few things coming up, and one of the additional things that's coming up in a few days, not tomorrow, but over the next week or so, is the FOMC meeting. So once more, at the FOMC meeting, they announced the United States interest rates, and we've got that coming up over on a Wednesday. For me, since I'm in Asia, it is a Thursday in the night. So perhaps this time I will not be streaming it. Depends on whether or not, it depends on where I'm going to be around that time. But regardless, this is almost always a very volatile event, meaning whatever the result is going to be, it brings the markets into a little bit of a ruckus, gets things pumping or dumping ever so slightly. And even though we expect the number to not change at all, so to go from 5.5 to 5.5, so nothing really happening, if it deviates from this, that could definitely be a very big deal. And of course, as you guys all know by now, we also like to listen to this Fed press conference about half an hour after the results, because honest truth, most times it's kind of whack, but sometimes the forecasts are really interesting because it might change the, basically, you can see this expected number here, right? The forecast. There's quite a lot that goes into that. And whatever Jerome Powell says at the end of his, or I guess after the numbers have been announced in his speech, usually are a determining factor. Having said that, a little bit later today, I'll talk more about some interesting crypto airdrops, because one of the ones I've been farming the hardest, I'd say it's the one that I've gotten most money into, has actually announced a airdrop, and they are launching it tomorrow. And I want to explain to you guys exactly how to claim it if you watched my videos before and did what I told you. And I'll say one more thing. A lot of people, they look at crypto dumps, like Bitcoin falling down here 1% over the past, that's not what I mean, right? Bitcoin falling from 73,000 to 67,000, and they start panicking. Let me just tell you one thing. This little correction of sorts, whatever you're seeing right here, whatever's making you panic, in the grand scheme of things, it really ain't that much. Ash, for example, shared, don't get panicked during the Bitcoin dip. In the last bull run, Bitcoin went through 8 corrections of 20% or more. During the same time period, Bitcoin pumped from $8,000 to $69,000. And what I stated to you guys earlier is that in a Bitcoin bull or in a crypto bull market, Bitcoin hits an all-time high various amounts of times, right? And I consider that to be, once, twice, 3 times, basically 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, let's say 9 times, maybe perhaps 10 times. In this little span you can see here, perhaps if we look at a different time frame, this might be slightly more because this is a 3-day chart, right? So what I kind of mean with that is you have a new high point, you have a correction. New high point, correction, no. Right now, as it stands, we can kind of consider that for the 2024 run, we are right here where Bitcoin hit 73,000 and we've fallen back down a few thousand, right? But if we look into the near future, for example, 2 months away, perhaps that 73,000 is now going to be a new low where we go to 84,000, 86,000, whatever, and then fall back down to 78. And then we go back up even higher and fall back down to 85, and then go back up to 120,000 and fall back down to 102,000. The goal is not to have up only. The goal is to have a healthy, long-term, sustainable movement because of the value of the asset. If it was up only, like we're seeing now with some of these memes, it all comes crumbling down hard. And I would prefer to have a slow rise than it being too meteoric, even though this current crypto cycle is already the most meteoric one we've ever seen. I'm noticing my camera is slowly coming down. But anyway, this is the most parabolic one we've ever seen, the most exponential one. But even then, we've not really hit those exponential points yet because, well, Bitcoin hasn't really gone for a massive move yet, right? We've gone to the all-time high and went slightly above it, sure, but we haven't really gone for a just massive meteoric rise. $80,000 per Bitcoin, altcoins just flying all around. I think partially because we're being taken aback by all these meme coins, which people are putting money into. And if this goes well for a little bit, people are going to get burned by it, but perhaps they're going to start moving it into different assets and the bigger coins can flourish slightly harder. Then again, this run is slightly different than previous runs because of Solana's craze right now, and because the transaction fees on there are so cheap, so people can go a little bit crazier than previous times with Ethereum. And it's also different because the more runs you get, the more that people learn that these things can basically keep doing well for a little while. And so the more faith that people have, theoretically speaking, every single cycle, things should go even more exponential and crash even harder because people will just get that faith again of, oh yeah, it's bull market, let's go crazy, ah. And eventually it hits them in the back. Just full deep strokes, no love, no refrain, no nothing, full raw. And so I'm not focusing on these meme coins too much, just kind of focusing on my AI coins, which I know will do well. I've sometimes shared a couple of things in the Telegram of trades I'm interested in as well. Because sometimes there are some coins which I think are highly undervalued, and so I sometimes share them, sometimes I don't. I think the major memes right now are a little bit less hot than before because they've gone for such meteoric rises. Pepe is like 3 times the previous all-time high already. WIF has done a meteoric rise here quite recently. And right now it seems that people are not going for major memes. They're mostly just going for the smaller ones with the 100x potential. But that paradigm is going to shift pretty quickly as a massive rug happens. This book of memes started a lot of new interesting endeavors, but it's going to burn so many people relatively soon. And the question is just, where is all that money that now is not going to flow into those crazy meme coins like Snap and Book of Meme? Where is it all going to flow towards? Is it going to be Solana? Well, partially so, which is why the price is doing so nice, but what's going to be next? That, ladies and gentlemen, is a good question. If you want to, there's like 10 at least different raises over on Twitter where people are sending money to a different address, because that's basically how you buy into all these garbage coins. You just go on Twitter, look for somebody that says, don't send me money, here's an address for a pre-sale. You send them money anyway, and you hope it becomes worth more. Is that a smart thing to do? No. Yeah, that's is it smart? No. Can it work? Yeah. I'm not your financial advisor. But even if, I mean, nobody can recommend to do that, right? It's literally degeneracy in the purest form. And I find it sometimes hard to explain to a non-crypto person what happened, right? It's like, oh, I just sent somebody's year's salary to a guy that says, don't send me money. No, he's not a prince. No, he's not from Nigeria. I sent it to him. As a matter of fact, it became worth it was worth $1 million now. I mean, it's that stupid. You can't explain it to other people that are not in it. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's literally what I just described, where you're literally sending money to a random guy on Twitter, hoping it's going to be worth 10 times as much, but then laugh when somebody sends money to a Nigerian prince over email. It's pretty much the same idea with slightly better odds, if any at all. But all I can say is, what a crazy time for all this crypto stuff, man. But honestly, I'm enjoying it, and I hope you guys are too. If you haven't done it yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know down below what you'd like to see next. And yeah, I'll see you again in another crypto video, hopefully very soon.